Good morning out there. You know, it's another big weekend, and everyone looks forward to the weekends, but this one's a little bit different. This one's Father's Day weekend. So it's a shame I have to even preface this with this. I'm not trying to marginalize anyone. I know mothers make great contributions. I know there's a lot of single mothers out there as well that fill in the dad's roles. But today, I'm just talking about dads. So enjoy, okay? You know, looking back, 14 years ago, actually, on Father's Day, my son just happened to be born on Father's Day. I thought that was kind of a cool thing. And no one seemed to really acknowledge it at the hospital, which I thought was kind of weird. Not that I needed it, but like it's Father's Day, your child's born, like, oh my God, you know, one of those kind of deals. And when he was born, it was kind of a weird thing. I was stationed at Barksdale Air Force Base at the time and didn't have any family around the me area. And the people I worked with were probably the people I was closest with, kind of like today, really. Um, and some of the people I do my costume work with, those have basically become my immediate family here just because my other family is geographically separated from me. That's just the nature of the beast sometimes. We adapt, we overcome. So we're sitting in the hospital, and the first person to come into the hospital room after my son was born was Master Sergeant Bobby Stacks. A great guy. Still have him on Facebook. So if you're seeing this, Bobby, how's it going, man? Good seeing you again. And thank you so much. I never really properly thanked you. You were the first person to come out and say, welcome to the world, you know? And that really did mean a lot to me. You didn't have to do that. There was a lot of people that didn't do that. And you were definitely the first one. For a long time, you were the first one. And that will forever be extremely important to me. So thank you, Bobby. Moving on. I didn't know what I was getting into when I became a father. You know, and no one really does. I don't care what anyone says. You can plan, prep, and do all the stuff you want. You can save all the money in the world, and that's not going to help you. Well, it may help you, but it's not going to solve the solutions. Solve the solutions? Whatever. You know where I'm going with this, right? I guess I need some more of my delicious coffee. Caffeinated goodness. That's the turtle from Scooters, so shout out to Scooters. Yeah, my son was born. I didn't know what to do. I'd never been around kids before. It was a whole new adventure for me, and it's still an adventure for me. My son's 14 years old now. He's in those teenage years. He turned 14 on the 15th, so just a couple days ago. He became an even older teenager with even more responsibilities, with even more things going on. I'm not going to get into him so much because I know being 14 was a heck of a time for me, so I can only imagine how it is in this day and age. But it got me thinking about my growing up. You know, my life now and prior to that was not too dissimilar from my own father's. My father was in law enforcement. I was in the military. So that means a lot of times where you're missing birthdays, holidays, a lot of good things in life. You know, some of my friends and family have missed their own children's birth. Luckily, when I was stationed in Korea, when Calvin was on the way, I was able to come back home for him to be born. I mean, I made it back the day before he was born. And then like 3 weeks later, I had to go right back to Korea. That's, again, sometimes that's just what we do what we have to do. And I think that's the big key to Father's Day. A lot of times, and again, mothers do it too, but it's Father's Day right now. So let's talk about dads. Fathers do what they need to do more often than not. I know, and I'm sorry for those of you out there that don't have the greatest father figures. And that's why a lot of times I try to reach out to those youth and even some of these older people out there that I can tell haven't had those father figures, because it's very important for one reason or another. You know, dads just fill a role that sometimes moms simply can't. You know, that we have I don't know if it's a different knowledge, different experience levels, or there's something that's different that I feel that fathers bring to the table from time to time. Not always, but from time to time. And I just started looking back on some of that, and yeah, you know, just like I've missed birthdays, holidays, and some of those bigger moments where I would love to have been there. I know my father had to miss those as well. And there's no ill will. Again, I didn't understand some of it at the time, and it hurt sometimes, just like I'm sure sometimes it hurts my son when I can't be there for him. But years down the road, when I had to become more responsible and start doing for my own family, I really did understand those things. And I'm sure my father had those same type feelings with his father, my grandfather, Pawpaw, because he was in law enforcement as well. So that meant he had to miss certain things. And that's just, again, the nature of the beast. Does it suck? Absolutely. Do we want to be there with every ounce of our being? But sometimes we just simply can't. So we try to make up for it in other ways. But I'm going to get past the doom, gloom, sad, and bad feelings and all that. Let's look at the positive things, okay? You know, we do a lot. And I think a lot of times it's just kind of expected to an extent. You know, dads are the general handyman. You know, I'm out there cutting the yard, or you're out there cutting the yard, whatever it may be. There's just so many little things that dads do. And again, moms do them too, but it's Father's Day. Um, Dads do a lot of stuff and they never ask for anything in return in most cases. You know, we're not looking for the glory, we're not looking for the praise. We do because it needs to be done. And I think that's a huge thing. And that's something I want to pass on to my kids as well, you know, and I try to. We don't do things for credit. We don't do things for the attention. We do things because they need to be done for one reason or another. Again, we are Mr. Fix-It. You know, back in the day, I remember many times watching my grandfather come over when we were working on projects, and he kind of helped steer my dad, and I would watch those things. And those memories are very precious to me. I don't even know if my dad or God rest his soul, my grandfather realized how important those moments were to me, because I was paying attention, just like I know my kids pay attention to me. Yesterday got me a little bit emotional, actually, because I look outside, and Calvin, my youngest, he wanted to use the weed eater. And it's a big one that I've got. It will shake you to death. I mean, it gives me heck because it's powerful. He wanted to do it. So I got out there and I watched him, and sure enough, he was giving it hell, and it beat him up a little bit, but he tried. And that was so huge to me because he was taking that initiative to learn. He sat back and watched me and my examples, and he's adapting himself to those things. Just like I did with my father, I learned from him whether he always realized it or not. I've learned from other father figure people, you know, learning electricity and stuff like that. Learning amps and speakers and cars, I learned from other people that were male role models to me. Changing tires, changing oil, those just all those little things that we normally associate with the male or father figure role are things that I learned from someone else. You know, when I was coming up, we didn't have YouTube where you could just sit there and go, how to fix this. You had to usually go to somebody and gain that knowledge from them. And I still think that's important. And, you know, it's just like when we look back in the history of the universe, you know, stories, traditions, education handed down from one generation to the next. And I feel like we're losing that as a society. And I think that's a very big role that fathers need to fill, is we need to make sure that we pull our children aside and we teach them these things, whether it's stories, whether it's history, whether it's cooking, cleaning, fixing, whatever it may be. The father role is very important because that's going to be a basis for them as they go, and how they treat others, how they look at others, and really how they look at themselves. So again, I think that's important. And I look back at those great memories that we did have when we did get together. You know, usually it's on Mother's Day, for example. A lot of people, they get together, they take mom out. You know, we go treat mom, and that's great, fantastic, as you should. But on Father's Day, something weird kind of happens, doesn't it? Everybody kind of comes over to Dad's house, and Dad's out working the grill, isn't he? Dad's out in the smoker, smoking some meat or something. You know, it's just kind of a different thing. It's even on Father's Day, Dad tends to work, you know? And again, no problem with that. I think it's cool. I enjoy it. Like this Sunday, I went and bought a bunch of ribs. I'm going to throw those in the smoker, and I couldn't be happier about it because that's something I enjoy. And I think a lot of dads enjoy that because we're providing. It's something, I think, in our DNA where we need to be, again, the kind of the hunter-gatherer traditionally. We are out there providing in different ways. And again, I know mothers are too, but, you know, for me as a father, it's very important to me to take care of me and mine, you know, and not just my immediate bloodlines, but my other friends and family that are close. It's important for me as a father to take care of them and to be that papa bear, so to say, to look out for people, whether it's for their food needs, their medical needs, whatever the need may be. It's an important role that fathers fill. And again, I know mothers fill them too. Not trying to marginalize anybody. Can't drive that point home enough. I don't want somebody getting upset in the comments, but it's Father's Day. And I really do miss a lot of those memories from back in the day, you know? I miss being able to get together with my father and my grandfather on these days. It hits me a lot that I can't. And I'm about to get emotional, ain't I? But I think that's okay because that just shows how important fathers are to me and how important my role as a father is. So before I start getting all weepy. Enjoy your Father's Day. Really enjoy it. Tell them you love them. Do something good for them. Okay? Dads are important. So, damn it all. Until next time, holla at your boy Panda.